There's something that real estate agents must do right now in this market to really scale their production, their skills, their capabilities, their abilities, and at the end of the day, scale up their income. Hey guys, Lucy Quinones here, and I am so excited to be bringing you another episode of the best place on Fridays, which is Agents in the Trenches. And let me tell you, so many people are watching this on the replay, and so many people are excited to join us. And the value that we are bringing, we can literally see the manifestation of the growth. Like people in our industry in real estate, locally, nationally, and also internationally, are relating to our guests, are relating to the subjects that we're bringing. And today we want to talk about how do we scale our income producing abilities in this current market. And there's an activity that for ages has been the best. It is one of those things that never goes out of style. It works in every market, any market. The problem is most people don't want to do it because it's got kind of like that stereotyping that it doesn't work. Well, you know what, guys? Work works. And we're going to be talking about that. And to kind of break it down, we are going to have an amazing guest that I'm so thrilled to have. She is a powerhouse of knowledge, and she decided to join us in Agents in the Trenches today. So if you're watching live, go ahead and give me a hashtag live. And if you're watching on replay, which is our biggest audience by far, give me a hashtag replay. And as always, I am going to bring to the stage my running partner, that fearless young professional that decided to, take the challenge and just live an adventure, right?
Yes. I don't know if I would say fearless, but but I'm definitely taking the bull by the horn and doing it scared, but getting it done. And that's what it's all about. And, I'm really lucky and fortunate to have you, Lucy, as my mentor and my coach, to consistently push me out of my comfort zone. And, that's what it's all about. I mean, we don't grow in our comfort zone, we grow outside of it. And if you're not growing, then what are you doing, right?
If you're not growing, you're dying. Yes, if you're not growing, you're dying. And it may not be literally, but if you're not growing, if you're not changing, you're dying as a professional, you're dying as an entrepreneur, you're dying as, that leader that you could become, right? So I'm super happy that we're here today. I want to share this with the world because I think we can do this in anywhere on the planet, what we're going to talk about. So share this live, drop your comments, say hello. Don't be a spectator. Join us on the chat and say hi. Tell us where you're watching from. Give us some love. Give us some hearts. Let's really fire up the chat and ask us questions first and foremost. So are we ready to kick this off, Dali?
Let's do it.
So I remember about 2 years ago, probably a year and a half ago, I'm going to tell everybody a little story about the person that's going to be joining us today. I remember that I had decided to take my networking events from a restaurant where we were having maybe 8 to 10 people, and I brought it into the academy, right? I brought it into our Southwest Florida Real Estate Academy location training center, and we came together, and that's when our numbers started growing. And that day we had about 18 people, so we went from 8 to 18. And at the end, this person came up and said, I want to join hands and lock arms with you. This is who I am. And she just started unpacking all this knowledge, a huge trajectory in her field. She started telling me about what she had done, what she wants to do. She started telling me about her vision for what she can do with real estate agents in our local area. And I was like, wow, you're the person that I need in my corner, right? Fast forward, she also has supported us in some of the best events we've had. First and foremost, at Vision Builders 2023, she believed in the vision. She brought her whole corporate, officials to support us, to join us. And she's always continued to walk alongside us. She is a fountain of knowledge. She is a go-getter in her own space and place, right? We all got our own space and place. Not everybody can do what Lucy does, but each one of us does something that can make a difference. And she's certainly making a difference. And I'm so proud to have her here today because she also supported us this past Wednesday at our Southwest Florida Real Estate Mastermind. And again, she brought her leadership from the East Coast, and they spoke so beautifully about her. And I continue to say the same thing. I'm super proud and super happy to call this woman a friend, a colleague, a running partner. So let's hear it for my very good friend, Maggie Perez. Hey,
Hello. Hello, ladies. Lucy, thank you. Talia, hi. It is amazing. Great to be here. Of course, a little nervous. You always put me out there, but love to share this experience with you guys. And let's get down to business. I'm excited. I love the topic, open houses. I
yes.
love it. I love it. I love it.
So let's start it off by saying 4 weeks ago to be exact, the beginning of February, I said to Talia, you know what? It's time to get in the trenches and go massive with open houses. And I said,
Yep.
have you ever heard about doing an open house extravaganza? And she was like, what is that? What do you eat that with? You know, what kind of dip is that open house extravaganza? And I said to her, well, let me tell you what I used to do with my agents back in 2018 as I coached them into production. And it was open house extravaganzas. We broke it down. And now we're working on a project that is open to agents from all different companies, logos, brands. And it's called 100 Open Houses to $100,000 in commission.
Right.
And it has everything to do with open houses. So Maggie, you've been around the block a couple of times. Give us the real deal of what you know open houses can do for agents right now.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think, getting back to basics is always the best way to go. People always try to challenge themselves and think out of the box to try and do business, but always going back to basics is the best. And an open house, I think, is the most amazing time for you to develop and grow your business. Now, I like to break open houses into 3 different scenarios or 3 different processes. You have to have the preparation, you have to break down your hosting abilities, and then, of course, the follow-up. If you don't do a good follow-up, it's basically you didn't succeed on the open house. So like you said, I'm a veteran in the industry, and I've been to a million open houses. And the great thing is that I've learned a lot, from a lot of realtors. They have a few tips that I'm going to love to share with you guys. And I know Talia and I have actually done 1 or 2 open houses together. And one of the tips that I'm going to talk about is one thing that Talia always does really, really well.
Tell us what that is. Let's dive right into it.
All right. So first, the preparation. Obviously, the preparation, get the pictures, get your flyers out there, the MLS. You want to be able to have the home really nice set up. Obviously, everything, the first impressions are always important. So nice pictures, leave your camera behind, spend a little money, make it a really nice professional pictures. Open house flyers, here at Guaranteed Rate, we have an excellent tools that we always provide to our agents. It's free of charge. It's called the Agent Advantage. It's basically a CRM, but it's also a marketing website where you actually can go in and co-brand open house flyers. You can use the MLS number. It'll bring in the pictures from the listing, and then it also has the ability to use different type of flyers, like for example loan options or future options. And then one of the things, obviously, once you create your flyers, you want to create a buzz. I have a real good friend that she says that before she does an open house, she goes back to every deal that she's done in the past year and basically reaches out to the counter agent. So if she was in the listing side, she'll reach out to the buyer's agent and vice versa. She says those are the first contacts that she makes because those are people that are active in the community. They have, they just sold a home or they just had someone buy a home, so they have customers. And then, of course, you have to reach out to your own people. I'm sure you have customers, so invite everyone to the open houses. I always say your phone is the best list of resource.
I love it. Let's break it down a little bit more, and I'm going to invite everyone that's watching. You've got a whole fan club. I mean, they're rooting for you. Maria Ocasio Negron, she's saying, Maggie, I miss you. We've got, Lourdes who's saying that you're incredible. You've got a whole fan club here. We've got, Lourdes is saying, thank you for the invite. So let's go ahead and share this live and let's show Maggie some love. We got Philip Medina who's saying hi. I think all of Guaranteed Rate officials should be on this live watching you, right? Lead from the front, because I'm always an advocate for frontline leaders, right? And those are the stallions we were talking about this past week. And I want to do a little parentheses before we break down a little bit more about the preparation, but tell everybody about your experience being called out unexpectedly to be on that panel at the Southwest Florida Real Estate Mastermind, because that's what life had in store for you. It wasn't in the agenda, but
Yeah.
hey, life isn't always as we plan. How did you feel?
Well, first of all, thank you to my fan base. I appreciate it. Maria, I miss you. I love you. Maria was my processor for the last 15 years in my previous job. She was my number one. So lots of love to you guys. Lucy, you always put me out there. You always put me on the spot, and I always say, people that know me, I'm always a jokester at parties. I'm always saying jokes, but I have this fear of public speaking. So I'm great on a one-to-one, but then when I'm faced with public speaking, I totally cannot do it. So thank you for the surprise, but no thank you. It was definitely exciting, but again, it's part of growing, it's part of
Yes.
building your brand. So anytime you challenge yourself, and I think one of the speakers said, and I'm not sure which one of them were, but the more you do it and the more you go out there, the more you actually get better at it, and
course.
you conquer your fears, and that's the
Of
whole
course.
point.
And let me tell you something, Maggie. People are going to be hearing you live now say, public speaking, I can't do it. It's not for me. And they're going to relate to you. And then people are also going to watch this on the replay and they're going to relate to you. And I think that's the power that we have on the inside, is that we can impact other people's lives because they're going to relate to us. But yet here you are, and you did amazing on the panel. And you
Thank
went up there and you crushed it, right? You took a leap of faith. You stepped out of your comfort zone. And, it's crazy because I always say this, I do unto others what I know is going to develop their potential, right? Because I've been there as well. So kudos to you. Let's give some hearts in the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing the panel. But yes, I know it's nerve-wracking. I still get nervous doing Agents in the Trenches.
Awesome.
I still get nervous, because it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable, but you get stronger as time goes by.
Yeah. And you're not comfortable. And that's a great thing, because going out of your comfort zone, I think that's what makes us better. And that's one of the other key things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. In the preparation stage for the open houses, I have a lot of realtors that actually take the time and go out to the neighborhoods a few days before. And they basically knock on the doors and introduce themselves and let the neighbors know that they're going to have an open house. And the way they do that is they say, hey, if you want to have a shot, have a say in who your neighbors are going to be. We're going to have an open house this day, and we're going to make it exclusive to the neighborhood. If you have any relatives or friends that love your area and you want them to move in close to you, make sure you invite them. And then basically what you do is you tell them that you have a neighborhood exclusive, and you let them know that they can show up at least 30 minutes before the open house is open to the public. This, everybody loves exclusivity. So, if you're not comfortable in meeting people or calling people on the phone, knock on the doors, invite people in from the neighborhood, and give them exclusivity to your listing.
I love it. That is so powerful, because let me tell you, and now I want to move, with that being said, I want to move into a little bit about the hosting. So the reason that I believe in open house extravaganzas, and there's different ways you can do it, right? Do you know that open houses rarely sell the house you are holding open, and that's where the hosting comes in to be your superpower. So what am I saying? And I want you to elaborate on this. I'm saying that don't look at an open house like I'm just going to sit here and play
No.
security guard. No, you've got to be mentally, emotionally prepared, right? When people walk in, you're at bat. You're going up to bat. You know, you got to connect with that customer, with that family. You have to put on your best performance, and you have to quickly, right? Let's just say in
Yep.
less than a minute, capture their attention, get to know them, find out about them. Because the idea is that the open house is your at bat. You're going up to bat, and that's your moment to take that conversation from that open house. I think it's only about 11%
Yeah.
of houses that we hold open, we actually sell that house. But that leaves us with 89% of those people. We can convert them into another sale. We could take them and show them property after the open house. We could really take them into another level of relationships. Tell us what you have experienced in your many years of doing what you do with how people are supposed to host an
Yeah.
open house.
So definitely, I think the way you envision it is exactly the way. If you go into an open house thinking that you're gonna sell the house, that's the wrong. You're there to sell yourself. You're there to build a relationship. You're there to show everyone walking in that door how great you are, how smart you are, and why you want their business. And even if they don't want to buy this house because they didn't like the house, you want to make sure that they like you. Now, obviously, the best way to do that is to sound and know everything about the house. You know, make sure you do your homework, make sure you learn about the HVAC, make sure you learn about the age of the roof. But one thing, and this is what I was talking about before that Talia does really well, always try to talk to the seller and ask them about a personal story or something unique about the house. Talia, remember you and I were hosting an open house, and the owner was an actual carpenter, and he actually did like handmade carpentry in the kitchen. He had like a specific ceiling accent, and that was the point. Every time people walked in, that's what we talked about. We didn't talk about the house, we didn't talk about that, we talked about how special that house was because of the history behind that. And people will remember that. So remember, you're going to bat. You're not selling the house, you're selling yourself. You're building relationship. You got to sound smart, but you got to sound relatable. And
Mhm.
personal stories are always, I think, the best way to create that one-on-one.
You know,
That's
I love that you mentioned that, Maggie, because it's funny that that piece of fact that I found out actually did not
Yeah.
come from the seller, because that specific property, the seller didn't even never lived in the property. She
Right.
purchased the home, but that fact I found it from a neighbor, right?
Exactly.
Who
Yeah.
came in. And just like you guys are saying, you have to talk to the people, you have to connect with them, you have to find out information. And I was able to find out that fact from the neighbor because they knew the person before that. So yes, I love that. Thanks for mentioning that. That's very key.
I think that's an amazing way of building that rapport. The other thing, and a lot of people do this, obviously, when you go in, you want to make sure everything is bright, you want to open the doors, put everything. And then I know that a lot of realtors put that nice, soft, relaxing music. I like to have different kind of music. I like to be a little aggressive, happy music. Don't be afraid to do that salsa every once in a while. Just get people in a happy mood. It's okay if you put the nice scenery in the TV, but I like a happier kind of music.
yes.
And then
agree.
obviously not that it becomes a disco, but just make people feel comfortable, make people feel happy.
I want to add to that because as you're speaking, I just recalled something else that we used to do, right? Going back to basics. And this is the market, guys. If you're a real estate agent, team leader, broker, you got to get back to basics because, history tends to repeat itself. History tends to repeat itself for the good and the bad. But in this case, for the good is open houses work if you work open houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just recalled, and I'm going to put Maggie on the spot again. I'm going to challenge her. You know that we used to do open house extravaganzas, but we also used to do it where, let's say on a Saturday, we would put a sign outside that said free drinks and hot dogs.
Yep.
There's no cheaper food than Coke and hot dogs or fruit punch and hot
Yeah.
dogs or
Yeah.
iced tea and hot
Yeah.
dogs. And here is what I'm saying. Listen to me, guys.
Yeah.
Your job is not just to hold that house open. Your job is to go at bat. Your job
Yeah.
is to go up to bat. Because when that customer comes in, even if they're like, oh my God, let's go in here. Listen, I'm so thirsty. I'm hungry. Oh my God, let's just stop in. Okay.
Yeah.
You know that overeating, the best conversations and the best connections develop. So if you're a real estate agent, why not join forces with someone that is going to come and say, listen, I'm doing an open house. In this case, Maggie is going to be our service provider.
Always.
I'm hosting an open house, Maggie. Let's bring some hot dogs. And then what you do is you do it 2 days in a row. You do it Saturday and Sunday,
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
Friday and a Saturday, so that you have more momentum. Okay. But that's powerful. It's
Yeah.
powerful to put a sign outside that says free drinks and hot dogs, stop in. It's not going to cost you much, but those
No.
people that walk in, listen to me, I guarantee you're
Yeah.
going to connect with them better. I guarantee you that if they know someone, remember, they
Yeah.
know someone that wants to buy or sell, they're going to think about the nice person. Oh my God, I remember this
Yeah.
realtor that gave us some drinks and hot
Yeah.
dogs. Here's her name, da 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 da.
Yeah.
Open houses work. What do you guys
Yeah.
think about that idea?
It's an amazing idea. And Lucy, you know what? I actually wanted to grow a little bit on that. And I don't know if she's on. I did invite her, but Mayalene is one of my best referral sources. She works out of Miami, but one day she invited me to go to Miami to one of her listings. And we actually kind of went all out. We actually had like an ice cream truck in front of the open house. So
Mhm.
basically what people did as they walked in the house, whatever, they all talk about, the ice cream truck. They're like, oh yeah, we hired them, here's your ticket. So we would give them a ticket, and obviously, people went. But it was like amazing. People always stopped at the ice cream truck, and then obviously we had a plant there. Hey, go in the house, get your ticket so you could come back. So, again, you can't do that on everyone, but the thing is, create a buzz, be different.
Yes, be
That's
different.
the whole idea, be different.
So we got Philip here. Philip Medina says, I love the idea of having hot dogs and drinks. It's super cheap. By the way, at an open house, the longer you keep potential buyers in the house, the more at home they will feel, instead of just looking at the home and what it is. It provides them the time to ask questions. And taking that even a step further, Philip, they are going to bond. They're going to connect with the realtor.
Yeah.
And that is what I tell Talia and all my agents. Your job is to connect psychologically, connect emotionally, stand out. Don't be another pigeon on the pigeon pole. Stand out. Another thing is popcorn.
Yes, Mayalene.
Popcorn. We're taking our open house extravaganza to the next level.
Yeah.
If you're an agent here, if you're a team leader and you need to build your production, reach out to Talia or myself, because with Maggie's support and help, we're going to be the queens of open houses.
Absolutely.
In Southwest Florida.
And Lucy, you named something really good. We have something called the feedback form, or the rate the house form, which is amazing. I always tell people, like the realtors, go out and get yourself a few clipboards. And the way you prepare that, you put, of course, my information, our co-branded flyer down. Then you have the MLS, and then on top you have the feedback form. And in that feedback form, you hand that into people as they're coming in, and then you ask them about things in the house. You make sure you have a trick question in there. Hey, did you see this? Something you want to point out about the house. Make sure they get involved in that feedback form. That feedback form, you'll ask them whether the house is priced right, what they like, what they didn't like. Obviously, you ask them if they have a realtor, if they're working with a lender, and then that's where the third part of this whole open house being absolutely amazing comes in, which is the follow-up. You take this feedback form, and it can help you in so many different ways. Number one, depending on the feedback, let's say a lot of people come back and say the house is overpriced. You have a relationship then with the seller and say, hey, look,
Yeah.
I think we need to reconnect. We need to rethink this. Look at the feedback.
Yes.
Again, oh, people love this, so let's, feedback forms are amazing. And then of course, if they say that they don't have a realtor, that's it. You apply for the job. I have a realtor. I have a realtor that actually takes the feedback forms and they call back and they actually send a video thank you. Hey, thanks for coming to the open house, but a video, and that I think, again, going out to the extreme, making the
Yes.
difference, creating the buzz.
Well, I want to take that a little further. So, guys, again, open houses work if you work them, right? And just sitting here
Yeah.
with Maggie, you just kind of like ignited my memory again on what we used to do, right? So definitely the hot dogs and drinks. Stop in, you buy little signs. Stop in for free hot dogs and drinks. Definitely the popcorn. The rate the house. I need that form.
Yeah.
I could show it to you. I wrote it down last week, and I said I need the form where people come in and they give it a
Yeah.
2-star, a 1-star. What price do you think it should sell at? Then you come back to the seller and you say, listen, this is what the people have been saying. It's not me. Don't kill the messenger. But the fortune is in the follow-up. And here's what I want to tell you guys. The reason you want to hold multiple open houses in one location is because people are watching.
Exactly.
People are watching. Listen to me. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. People are watching. Who are the people that are watching? The neighbors. The neighbors see you showing up day after day. Listen, Talia knows. Talia, how often do we want to do open houses?
Every day.
Every day. There's no reason to be in the office.
Yeah.
There's no reason to be in the office. Nobody's going to come and hunt us down in the office. We need to be in the trenches. We need to be in the field.
Yeah.
And the neighbors are watching. And let me tell you what I've also seen happen from several of my agents back in 2019 when I had my own Century 21 office. I had an agent that would host open houses every day at the same listing. Do you know that after a little bit of, let's say, 2 weeks of her doing this, the neighbors would come by and the neighbors would say, I've watched you hold open houses here consistently. I would love to talk to you about selling my house. You know why the neighbors did that? Because the neighbors saw consistency, because the neighbors said that person is working. But if you're going to be a lame, low-level player doing one open house a month, oh my God, let me help you. Real estate may not be for you, or let me help you. Contact us and let's get you into some massive action, because you got to do a lot of open houses to really see the results. Take it away, Maggie.
So I think, and the word is value, right? What we do is people hire us for the value we can give. There's 1,000 realtors out there. When someone chooses you, is because you're adding value to their relationship. So you need to bring that value. Same like me. I'm a lender. There's a million lenders out there. Why do people choose Maggie, over someone else? Because they see that I can bring something a little different. I bring value to it. And how do you bring value to that? Again, your perfect connection. You had gone to the neighbors before the open house. You showed them, you told them about the exclusivity. You invited them to choose their neighbors by having them reach out to friends and colleagues and people and invited them to the exclusive, neighborhood. And now you have all of this, rated forms. You go back to them and say, hey, by the way, the open house was amazing. Now I have all these buyers that are looking to buy in this neighborhood because they loved it. So I'm knocking on your door now, not to invite you to the open house, but hey, are you willing to sell? Open the conversation. When they see all the work you did preparing for the open house, at the open house, and then going back and doing the follow-up, that's the value, and that what makes you different than people just hosting an open house, turning on the lights and waiting for people to come in. You can't.
You can't just sit at an open house like I'm sorry to say this, but just like, I don't know what better way to say it, but let me just say it nicely. Let me find the best way to say it. You can't just sit there like a security guard. You walk into places, the security guard barely even says hello to you. They're just like sitting there on a watch. No, you have to get excited. I love what you said about the music. Make it an event.
Yeah.
When people walk in, if they find you dancing, that's even better, because Hello, people like to talk and connect with people that are fun.
Yeah.
Don't be boring, don't be lame,
Yeah.
be fun,
Yeah.
walk out, introduce yourself, let them walk around. A lot of times people think, well, I'm going to go to an open house and, well, this is the kitchen, this is the bathroom. I think they could figure that out. Let them walk
Exactly.
around, let them walk around, and when they come back, talk to them about them.
Yeah.
Make them
Talk
the
to
most piece of conversation. Go ahead.
Go back to the forum. Ask them what they thought about the forum. Hey, did you see that? What did you think about this? Make it about them and then relate that. So Lourdes, hi Lourdes, shout out to Lourdes. She asked a question. What do we think about virtual open houses? That's a good one. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
You want to chime in, Tali? What do you think? I'll let Talia and then I'll go.
Well, I mean, I can just talk from experience, right? One of the things, I mean, we always do, in person, whatever. I don't know exactly what virtual open houses is, but what I can say is that, when we do open houses, we do property showcases, right? So, we'll pull up the camera, go live, and say, hey, we're here at the open house, say the street, say the time they're going to be there, and then show them the house. And sometimes I like to show them the entire house, or sometimes I'll show a little bit of it and say, hey, come in, so you can see the rest of it, kind of give them a little bit of a sneak peek. But really, like Maggie is saying, you have to provide the value. How are you going to provide that value virtually? It's better to be in person, I would assume, because then you can really connect with that person, find out what what their plans are, what their goals are. So I don't know. Lucy, I'm gonna give this to you.
So here's what I can tell you, Lourdes, and everyone else that's watching. That's a fantastic question. And I believe that virtual open houses will work if you have two things. In my experience and my humble opinion, you've got two things. If you've got a very strong social media presence,
Yep.
and you've got a lot of people that connect and engage with you, yes, it will work, because basically you're doing a remote live on location. Now, you have to be able to hold that virtual house open for at least 45 minutes, and that's where most people mess it up, right? Because people think, well, I'm just going to wait for somebody. And there's some people that do virtual open houses, like they're just showing the house to somebody that wants to see the house in another state. In reality, virtual open houses could be powerful if you've got a lot of following and an audience, and you can hold your live, because you want to do it on live, for at least 45 minutes. Now, you need to prepare and you need to anticipate, okay, what you're going to do is basically sell yourself and promote this house on a live. You're going to be walking from one room to the other. You have to be able to talk about the product, talk about the benefits, maybe even include, like we have a live right now, include a mortgage person that says, hey, listen, so we're here at this home in Southwest Coral, tell everyone that's watching now, what would it take to purchase this home? And now you get into a conversation, and then you have to engage the audience, and you have to tell the audience, if there's a particular part of the home that you're interested in, let me know. And then you're moving around the house and hosting that virtual open house. That is a crush it virtual open house, but it takes a lot of determination, because it's hard. Once you start seeing not a lot of people are joining, then your brain starts telling you, oh, this is stupid, this doesn't work, shut it down. No, do it for 45 minutes to an hour and just stay live, invite someone, have a conversation, make it into a little reality show. Hey guys, I'm going to walk you through the house again for those of you that are watching now. That's kind of like what you have to do. However, it cannot be a substitute. It could be a supplement or an addition, but it cannot be a substitute. It cannot be a substitute for in-person open houses. And the best part is that if you're doing it at a real open house, the best part is when the people walk in. You want to show that live, because now you're showing that you are in action. You are an action taker. So that's what I have to say.
I love that. So the first thing, go ahead, Maggie. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So the first thing I thought about when you were mentioning that, right? Because I was envisioning it. I've never done a virtual open house myself. So the first thing I thought about was on TikTok, right? When you go on TikTok live, you see people selling their products, and they'll over and over and over again, but they're switching the products, they're connecting with the people, like commenting and stuff like that. So I think that's like the same concept. So
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that's awesome. What do you got to say, Maggie?
You know what I was thinking as Lucy was saying, I'm thinking it could work, but what I would do is I would have like on the days leading to the open house, I would have like short videos going out to social media. Hey guys, Saturday, here's, and do like create the atmosphere, create that, oh God, I really want to be there, So take videos, take stuff, and you know what? Bring in the ice cream guy, bring in the hot dogs, bring in, show that, hey guys, if nothing else, come on down and have a hot dog, So I
Yes,
think
absolutely.
let's do it, guys. Let's do it. I'm on.
Let's do it. Listen, we're on track for 100 open houses to $100,000 in commission. So we have a lot of work to do. And Lourdes says, thank you, Dalia and Lucy. I did a virtual open house. Check this out. It was really great. A lot of turnout, a lot of engagement, and it lasted 2+ hours. I told you, you can't be doing a virtual open house for 10 minutes. So definitely that. So let's bring it to a close. Let's talk about the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. I think that's where most people flop and fumble, is in the follow-up. So I'll let you guys lead that conversation.
Yeah, so first thing, before you go, so Maggie, we actually had a comment here for Philip. He said, 100% following up on all your leads is extremely important. Even if they are not looking to purchase immediately, having them in the pipeline will benefit you for future sales. So what do you think, Maggie? Because obviously it's a common thing, like it's hard to, sometimes it's a little bit challenging to follow up because you don't know what to say. You feel, some agents feel like they're bothering the leads. Yeah. So what do you have to say to the follow-up?
So I take the that feedback form, and honestly, the follow-up really depends on each situation. Like for example, if you're reading the feedback form and they say they have an agent, they have a realtor. Well, maybe you reach out to the realtor and say, hey, hey, Maggie was here over the weekend, and she did write down that Lucy, you're her realtor, but I wanted to see if she spoke to you about it. Did she give you any feedback? Is there anything else? Maybe if she didn't like that house, hey, I have some other listings too. Can I, so that's one way to follow up, not necessarily with the person that went in, but also with who their resources are. And, I hate to say this, but even if, again, I'm a lender, I'm not going to take business away from myself. But if they do have a lender, they do have a pre-approval, they, follow up with the people that are working with that person, and then of course, then if you follow up with that person, you have a better conversation. Hey, Maggie, guess what? I spoke to Lucy. She knows exactly what you're looking at, and she thought that maybe that house didn't work for you, but I have another house. So you have something different. You're not calling that person just to say, oh, thanks for showing up.
Right.
You have a conversation, and that's always the key in everything that we do. Be different, but yet be sincere and bring value to that interchange. I think that's the bottom, that's the best way to create a relationship.
I love it. Yes, the fortune is in the follow-up. And as we close this out, I'm going to invite my friend Maggie, because you are a fountain of information. It's one thing to have the information, but you have been doing this for so long.
Wow.
We've closed deals together that I'm proud to say you handled my customers, because they felt literally, and I'm not just saying this, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. They felt your grit. They felt your thrive. So that being said, I think you would make an amazing Florida licensed real estate instructor. And Talia says the same thing, because she says you would make an incredible real estate instructor. And so today at 2:00, you or anybody else that wants to jump on for 30-45 minutes with me, I'm doing a quick introduction into the wonderful world of being a licensed Florida real estate instructor, because our academy needs more powerhouse instructors. So I put it in the chat, and if you're up for it, come and join me, Maggie. I would love to have you there. I put the link in the chat.
It's a date.
2:00, I'll see you there.
Yeah. So, listen, guys, thank you so much. Again, Lucy, as we were talking, you always take me out of my comfort zone, but this was amazing. I think I kind of like the spotlight. So
I told you.
When's the next one? What are we doing next?
Yes, I love it. Yeah, Maggie, you did amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. So I just want to say before we wrap it up, Lizette Rivera said I'm in. So Lizette, I don't know where you're from or what you're doing right now, but we have, like Lucy said, an amazing project, 100 open houses to 100K. If you want to be a part of that, reach out to me. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my phone number in the comments below so we can get you started. I'm actually going to be doing an orientation for our open houses tomorrow. So if you want the info to that, reach out to me. I'd be happy to connect. And then Ludus also said to count me in for all your open houses. Ludus, reach out to me as well. We love to connect with you. But thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. We do this every Friday. So be on the lookout for the next one and have a great weekend.
Awesome.
Take care, guys.
Sell.
Good job.
Bye.